They use the American dream as the background for family snaps in the place that's now the gateway to make it to the US illegally. This is the town they call Hue in Guatemala, where they know the desperation to reach that promised land is leaving their children as the victims. Because this is the reality. Detention centers in the US overflowing with 50,000 children who've crossed the border alone since September. Barack Obama has called it a humanitarian crisis. Protests across the country call for an answer. But back in Guatemala, the next wave is ready. Yason and Brian say they'll pay a people smuggler, a coyote, thousands, so they can join their brother in the US this year.
I'm always worried about what will happen on the way from here to the border. I'm always saying God will be protecting me.
They take the people down to the border.
George was deported from the US. He shows us the world of the coyote. He knows why the young want to go.
They don't have no money to survive. They're just looking for a new life. You know what I mean?
The poverty and violence in places like this in Guatemala has always driven people to seek that better life in the north. But what's happened recently is a rumor that has swept the country that there's an amnesty for children who make it to America on their own. The problem is that rumor's not true, and those who do make it are simply turned around and sent back to where they came from.
Oh, you don't have money? Okay, you got this. Bah, bah, bah.
Santana Cano's last attempt to reach the US ended last week, robbed at gunpoint by a Mexican cartel.
I was crying when I see a kid like my son's age. I said, my God, I said, how old are you? I say, 7 years. I said, do you come along? I say, yeah. My dad is there, he could pick me up. I can't let my son go in there, just go ahead, you know.
He took his message to a school when asked how many wanted to travel to the US. Almost half showed their hands. Carla has a cousin who went and hasn't been heard from since. She told me children here should get an education and a visa before leaving for the US. But for all the warnings and local pride here, the march north continues. The buses are filling up. The US is telling them not to come, but few are listening. Greg Milam, Sky News, Guatemala.